All right. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. 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 Call Halayim Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashim Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Honors and salutations to all Sayakim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and honesty, sincerity, diligently, charity, and in sound doctrine. All right? My name is Ma'aka'Allah Bungab and Yashala. I'm with the Watchman Philadelphia camp. And also, Shalom to the Akwathium and the children that believe on the name of the Father and the Son, whose the Father's name is Yahweh and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai, man. All right? You know? Basically, I just want to go over the book of 2nd Edras, the 13th chapter. All right? Because these are the things that's basically coming to America, man. That's about to happen. And not just America, man. These things are this is how the elect are going to be saved, man. You know? I'm going to just hop right into it, man. This is the book of 2nd Edras. And basically, I'm going to go over the whole chapter, man. I don't want advertising, man. You know? This is the book of 2nd Edras, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his continuance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So, yo, who that's talking about, man? That's talking about Yahweh Shai, man, when he come back. You know, to destroy this place, man. You know? And, yo, that's why it says in the scriptures, it says, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. Because when Yahweh Shai come back, man, like, he not coming back on no sucker shit, man. You know? He coming back to jack this place up, man. Alright? Verse 4 says, And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire, man. So that voice is talking about that concentrated heat, man. It said, and after this, Salakia, I'm gonna hop the because verse 4. All right, let me read verse 4 again. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 4. It says, and whensoever, Salakia, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. So now you could jump to Isaiah chapter 66, starting at verse 15. It says, For behold, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai shall be many, man. All right? So, you look up that word, plead, which is shapat. Shapat. To judge, govern, vindicate, punish, man. To act as a lawgiver or judge or governor of the Most High. To rule, govern, judge. To decide controversy of the Most High, man. To execute judgment. Alright? That's basically it, man. Because when Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai comes back, man, He not coming back to talk, man. All right, so pleading, he's coming to jack shit up. All right, verse 5. Okay, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was a gathered Salaki. I'm gonna start that over. Verse 5 says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, man. All right, so now we're going to hop to Revelations chapter 19 to back that scripture up. And guess what? Guess what that's talking about, man? It's talking about the elect, man. Because that's all this thing is. That's all this thing is for right now, man. They gathered the elect. All right. That's all this thing is about, is the elect. All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 14. It says, and the armies which were in the heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, man. All right. So who is that, man? You know? That's the elect and the heavenly angels coming to jack this place up, man. Because America is done, man, no matter how you look at it, man. All right? Just how you got what was it, IUIC doing that march and all that. And they gathered together in the name of Christ, not Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know? And they was basically talking about violence. They was marching against violence. But who's the most violent that's going to come to this face of the earth? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So guess what? That even lets you know furthermore that those guys are against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. They with Esau, man. Like I say, they the house of Saul. All right. Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up, Salak, it flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So that's talking about Yahweh Shai's shit, man. When Ezra saw this, you know, he thought it was a mountain. And if you look at mountains now, you can look at Mount Everest and all that. Yo, those mountains are huge, man. So he was comparing Yahweh Shai's ship to a mountain. You know? Verse 8. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to read verse 7 again. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. All right? So basically, Ezra was like, yo, he was looking at Yahweh Shai's ship like, yo, this a big ass ship, man. You know? What mountain is this? And he couldn't even see like where he was at. All the mountains, they still were there, man. All right? So that's how I knew it wasn't a mountain, man. It was a ship. And that's why Esau now is telling the people that UFOs exist. All right? Verse 8 says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence, there it go, man. The violence, right? So what is Nate and his men trying to fight against, man? What is Nate and his men marching down in wherever the hell they was at? They're marching against violence, man. All right? It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence, of the multitude that cast he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. All right. So this is deep right here, man. Verse 10 says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, man. So that's that concentrated heat. And that's talking about coming out his chariot, man. All right? Like the scriptures tell you, say, I'm not going to meet you as a man. You know, when Yahushua come back, he said he's not going to meet you as a man. All right? So, and when he said he ain't had no weapon of war, because the technology that the angels have and Yahweh Shah created, it's not of this world, man. So that was a foreign thing to Edras, man. You know? But he saw that concentrated heat coming out the mouth of that chariot, man. All right? Verse 11 says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. I gotta stop right there real quick, man, because that reminds me of that scene in what's that, Independence Day, when the people was on top of the building, and the chariot came and it stopped, you know, and they was oh, welcome aliens, and all that, and that concentrated heat just and blew the goddamn building up along with them niggas, man. You know. So Esau knows that this Bible is the truth, man. That's why they try to hide shit. All right, verse 11 says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath. So that's talking about the blast of fire, which is the nuclear missiles. The flaming breath, which is talking about the concentrated heat coming from the chariots. All right, the flaming breath and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude. So it fell with violence upon the multitude, Nate. But you trying to march against violence, man. So you marching against Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, my man, and telling your men to do so. All right? It says, which was prepared to fight, and burn them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of the innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, man. So yeah, rightfully so. You know? That's all you can smell. Like when you got that many dead bodies around and that much concentrated heat, what are you going to smell? Just what the scripture just explained. So let's go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. All right. Now it says, Salakia. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, man. So that backs up, as was the 13th chapter, verse 11, man. You know? Because those people, you know, what it's talking about is Esau going to try to fight against Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, man. But he's not going to prevail. You know? And that's talking about the war in heaven, man. But you got dudes that talk about, oh, the war in heaven already happened. It hasn't happened yet, man. All right? This is prophecy, man. Right here. This is prophecy. All right? Now let's go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Which is going into Jacob's trouble, man. You know? And it's all ties in together. All right? This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book," man. All right, so that's what that scripture is going into too, man. All right, and now we're gonna hop to Matthew chapter Salakia. Matthew chapter 24. All right, verse 13. Salat. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. Okay? And it says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved," man. So all these things that we reading about right now, you have to endure, man. Okay? You're going to have to endure to the end, man. And that's going to this time. Like I did a video not too long ago called "The Elect Shall Scarcely Be Saved," man. You know? And that's real rap. There's no getting around that, man. Because dudes really think that they saved now. And they might not tell you that, but in their mind, they thinking that. Until your black asses and your confusing of faces asses is on the chariot, that's the only time you're saved, man. Then and only then will you be saved. So humble down, man. Alright, verse 12 says, "Afterward I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and the other some, but of them that were offered, then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast shewed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted the worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer." You know, so the ones that's bound, they the slaves, man. They the other nations, man. All right? The ones that are glad are the ones that got delivered up out of this captivity, man. And the ashamed ones that was, you know, because they didn't stand firm for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. All right, verse 14 says, Salakia, verse 15 says, Shew me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceived in my mind understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Salaki, I made a mistake. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just keep reading because the scripture it explains itself, man. And when I get to that scripture, then I'll explain it. All right. It says, "For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand the things that were laid up in the latter days." The latter days is talking about right now, man. All right, so the latter days is talking about right now. It says, "Which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind," man. So those that are left behind are the one that you know, didn't face death. All right. And the ones that get taken, those are the ones that see death, man. You know? So verse 19 says, "Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is Salakia. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into those things, then to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I shew thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. All right. And with that, I'm gonna say, call Halam Yahweh Shema Rashad. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Honors and citations to also Serakim, throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and honesty and sincerity. Now this is part 1. All right. And we stopped at verse 21. Okay. Now I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go from 22 on down, because we got 58 what'd you say, scriptures in this, and I don't want brothers to be overloaded. All right, because when you feed the sheep, you have to feed them, but you can't feed them till they vomit. All right, and with that, so part 2, Shalom.